All right, everybody's saying the last call was way better, so we'll go with way better. Sorry, guys. Sorry about the technical issues there. Could just be my speaker. Okay. Okay, yes, it's finally in stereo. Okay, interesting. I'll have to remember what I did. Let me look at this. Yeah, interesting. When I put it in mono, then it goes on stereo on your guys' end. Okay, we'll figure that out later. Anyways, okay, let's back up here a little bit. I wanted to get to these questions. When working with retainer clients like I do, what up, Chris Flores? He says, what things would you consider when picking a higher cam package over the lower end cam system? Well, this it's so like a personal choice. Do you know what I mean? Like I feel like the things that I would look for in a B cam are pretty much the same that I look for in an A cam. I guess there's like specific resolution and frame rates that I would be after. Certainly, it has to be 10-bit. I don't think I would invest in anything that's 8-bit video. Obviously, I think that you wouldn't want to go any less than 4K. Obviously, I don't know if I'm the guy to ask that because I'm such a basic dude. I think open gate is a novel idea that maybe people should be paying more attention to. Things like that. Because other things like IO is a big one for me. I would look at that. If I think about my A cam, to me the FX6 is the most convenient camera ever for me, and so I think about the things that what makes the FX6 better, that where I would never go back to the Komodo ever again. Well, I think that's pretty obvious. It's the first one being all of the amazing I/O that it has, the automatic internal variable ND. I mean, that is something that no one has touched yet. Everyone's trying to, but no one has touched that yet. That's huge. I mean, it can do 4K 120. I know it doesn't shoot RAW, but however, the weird Sony metadata, the metadata that Sony has now with their XAVC codec, with the FX6 anyways, you can tap into all the RAW settings within the RAW tab on Resolve, so I can still go in and change my white balance later on in post, even though it's not actual RAW. And I'm talking about recording in camera, if you don't know that about the FX6. So, those are things that come to mind offhand. Dehancer approached me, Justin. Congratulations, Charles. Dehancer, do it, dude. Yeah. A7 IV is still best value for money. I think so too. I think that's the way I'm leaning right now, because then I can, because I'm scanning a lot of my own film. Maybe you guys saw that before. So, I'm sorry, guys. I just want to get these questions real quick, and then we'll pop back into Facebook there. He said, oh, what up, Randall from Vancouver? Yes, Randall. What up, Randall? Yeah, Charles, especially for that clean look everyone wants to. You're talking about the A7 IV. Yeah, really I was looking for kind of like the perfect hybrid to go with the FX6. Let's see. I miss my A7 IV. What up, Dice TV? He said I traded it to get an FX30 for my doc work, but as a photo camera, the A7 IV was lovely. Yeah, that's the downside with the FX30. There's no EVF on that, and it's the electronic only curtain. I'm not really a fan of electronic shutters for photography. I get it for like stealth, but it's not great for all the issues of flickering and stuff, the banding and stuff. Okay, audio sounds fine, thank you. Seems like you have, okay, we're back on that. Yeah, the OBS, I don't know, it's my first time using OBS, and I'm just, I'm doing my normal thing that I've done with the past 3 streams, where I just run, I run everything through the Blackmagic Video Assist, because the Video Assist, it can act as a webcam just through USB-C. So all you got to do is connect a USB-C cable to the Video Assist directly to your computer. And without OBS, it's actually real simple, and it's been great up until now. But I think the OBS kind of confuses me because I'm not familiar with the OBS software. I don't know, it's just called OBS. Okay, anyways. Okay, Justin, it's been a few days. When is the R3D Nikon rant coming, bud? I always look forward to those videos from you. What up, Lorax? Yeah, I ranted about it pretty hardcore on my Patreon, and but unfortunately that that rant turned into a much horrible rant about another video that I saw. And so I thought, well, we better just keep this limited to Patreon, because I tend to get a little bit passionate about things when they're like fresh on my brain. So and also I'm kind of like I'm a little over the Nikon red stuff. I feel like every time, because there's times where I think I'm like super profound. I'm like, oh, I'm one of the great philosophers of our camera world, right? So the last one I did was where I compared red to Harley, right? And everyone lost their minds over that, and I got a lot of hate from it. And I'm like, okay, I'm done. It's like, okay, people, I don't know. I'm just kind of over it. Long story there. There probably won't be one, Lorax. I apologize. He says, I love my XH2S. Chris does. He said, the image is great. A little digital, but easy to fix in post. A little digital, really? He said, the XH2 is also great, minus its rolling shutter. Yeah, not a fan of that. He said, I think I'd go with the A7 IV if I had an FX6. Same AF performance. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. And probably the easiest to match with the S-Log3. I don't know if the A7 IV has... I don't know if the A7S4 has S-Log3 Gamut Cine. Let me look that up real quick. Does A7 IV have S-Log3... What's it called? S-Log3.Cine or something weird like that? Yes, okay, it does have S-Log3 Cine. Well, no, I don't know. Yeah, see, you can't rely on this. You guys will have to let me know. Does anyone out there have the A7 IV? Does it have S-Log3.Cine? Is that what it's called? You know how there's like two S-Log3s? Does it have the Cine one? That is very important to know. Let me know if you know that, anybody. Okay, let's see. Also being able to work with similar files and copy and paste grades. Yeah, 100%, 100%. I would suggest the FP, given that it can truly color space transform to any color space and gamma workflow you'd want, but you've already tried that system out. Honestly, I was thinking about the FP, but it's the whole reason I got rid of the camera, is why I can't pick up another one, is because the rolling shutter, it's too slow. The rolling shutter is way too slow on that camera, and also for photography, it has no mechanical shutter. So big problems there for me with the rolling shutter performance of the camera. But other than that, I mean, if they could do a Mark II version, and if they could figure out that rolling shutter performance, if they could just make it better, honestly, that's what had me looking at the Fuji XH2S, because that rolling shutter performance is really good too. And so I was like, wow, that camera looks really good. Yeah, so that's why no more FP, really. He said, you can use Sony glass on red now. How would you do that? Because of Nikon? Oh, wait, what? Explain yourself, Phil Films. Okay, Dan, what up? Don't know much about video, but just got my first medium format camera. That's awesome, dude. Congratulations, you're with the big dogs now. A 1957 Yashica MAT-120 had the first roll developed, and it looks amazing. Crazy that it's 67 years old and still looks perfect. Yeah, dude. A buddy of mine in Minnesota, he's gonna give me his Mamiya. I think he's got just one of the Mamiyas, and but I gotta get back on the road and get out there. But he's gonna gift it to me, so I'm pretty stoked about that. I've never shot medium format at all. Dice TV says the A7 IV has the same color profiles as the FX6. Right, but is it the Cine? I'm gonna have to do my own research on that. FP same sensor as A7 IV? I don't know about that. Maybe. It might be. I don't know. I mean, Sony makes a lot of the sensors, but I don't know, man. The colors are so good on the FP. I really don't think that it's a Sony sensor. Maybe at its core. Maybe like down to like just the little microchip itself. Maybe that was manufactured by Sony, but Sigma they put a special sauce on that in terms of the color. I mean, I do love the color of the FP, 100%. Yes, Z to E mount? They make that? Crazy. Okay. Nikon has the shortest flange distance, so you can adapt Sony lenses on it. It's a super thin adapter. I had one on my Nikon Z6. Okay. Your recent artist anarchist video is dope. Thank you, Joseph. Thank you. I almost didn't release that. That was almost a Patreon exclusive only video. I have a lot of videos where I second guess it, and they just live on Patreon and they never see the light of day. And that was pretty close to being one of those videos. But at the end of the day, because it's been on my Patreon for a few days now, and I don't know, I woke up this morning and I was feeling a little froggy, so I said, yeah, I'll just make it public. Who cares? But the problem with it is I felt like it was a little too pretentious. You know what I mean? But who cares? But thank you, Jessica. Nikon Z mount is shallow enough to fit an E mount adapter on it. It is quite trippy. CVP's recent video showcases it. Okay, so they've been deep. Yeah, they have great content over there. I'll have to check it out. Good day from Sydney, Australia, Mr. Zen. Wow, dude, what's up? Just picked up a C80, loving those Canon colors with minimal work in post. Wow, C80. Yeah, I know. I was very close to going that route because that was announced right around the time that I bought the FX6, funny enough. But I was already invested in the Sony ecosystem. I already had the batteries, not for the FX6 anyways, but I already had all the lenses and adapters, and I guess that's it really. I just had lenses and adapters and just was like, nah, I don't know. But yeah, the congratulations on that, man. C80, man, that's rad. I bet you that's a fun camera for sure. He says, I use FP as a B cam to my Dragon 6K Wild Duo that feels like I'm running a Linux on my film set. An FP next to the Dragon 6K. That's an interesting combo. Yeah, I mean, look, it really is no slouch. Like, especially if it's gonna sit on a tripod or something, or maybe that's about it. or if you have really, I mean, maybe really good steady gimbal, right? Yeah, like anything where it's got enough stability where it's not gonna really show that warbling shutter too much. Or maybe I just suck. You know, I don't know. The shutter, the rolling shutter was an issue for me on that camera. I don't know what it was, but I do love the colors on it, and I think for the size, I mean, yeah, obviously there was a time when I was completely in love with that camera, but at the end it was that rolling shutter problem that really started to bother me, and not just for photos, because I know in the video where I trashed it, I was really, you know, emphasizing the video performance, but honestly it was in the video too for me. It was just like anytime I used it, I was just smart, and I usually shot it on, I had a monopod. Like I always had a monopod with that camera because I was just too afraid to hold it handheld, you know. That's just me though. Maybe, you know, I mean, you know, I am a recovered alcoholic, so maybe I got too many of these jitters going. He said FP and Dragon 6K are both lighting hungry. Yeah, probably the Dragon way more than the FP, though, right? You know, because I think the FP did pretty good for low light, certainly compared to the older Reds. Older Reds, I think it might be a little better than the Dragon, but 100%, I can see that. Yeah, you gotta light the scenes the same for both. 100%. Yeah, that's true too. You know, if you are in control 100% of the lighting and everything, you can match whatever with whatever. I mean, I believe that too. But sometimes I'm on jobs all by myself, so you know I gotta think about stuff like that. Come on, Justin, do the video. You can trigger the Sony bros, the Nikon bros, and the Red bros. That's a good point. That's a good point. See. That's a good point. Let's see. I mean, now you guys got me thinking about the FP, man. Let me look. Let's look for the FP. Let's switch over here. Screen share. Let's look over here on the FP and see what we got. Come on. Let's see what we got. FPL for 2800. Ooh, doggy. 500 for the EVF. Yeah, see, that EVF is expensive, boy. But not much else. Wow, I'm surprised there's not one FP on here. Oh, here's one for $1,000. Look at that, Culver City, $1,000. Culver City, you get the loop with it. That's cool. You got a full setup, PL mount and everything. No way. With the Tilta FP cage, PL mount, EF mount. He's got both mounts. He's got the V mount plate. He's got the Blackmagic HDMI to SDI adapter. Oh boy, look out, HDMI to SDI adapter. That's cool. 1 terabyte SSD. Wow, a back diopter viewfinder. Yeah, that's the loop. And the batteries and the charger. And a kit lens he's going to throw in too. $1,000? I mean, honestly, I wouldn't use half of the stuff on this, but you never know. I mean, if you had to. Now you guys got me thinking about that. Son of a gun. Now you got me thinking about that. What do you think about that? Let's see what you guys are saying about that. FP does okay, but the noise is way less pleasing when pushed. Yeah, that's true. That's why I always... Really? Hold on. Let me remember this. I used to always underexpose it by like a stop. I don't know if I ever went... I don't know if I ever went more than -1, but I don't recall ever having issues bringing it back from just a stop under. Hold on. I got lost. So for perfect noise matching, got a light for both. Seems to contain way more RGB shift than a red sensor. Yeah, I can believe that. Buy it now, he said. Deal. Very new to cinematography. What up, Zan Griffin? He's very new to cinematography. He says, I may be a stupid question, but how important do you think it is for a cinematographer to use a light meter? Oh, guys, he came to the right place. How important is it to use a light meter? Well, I don't know. I have one right here. I mean, I always have my Sekonic. I only have it because it's in my coffin that's right next to me. So I always have this. Wow. Thank you, Zan. That's amazing, dude. Thank you for that. Yeah, I have a, I use this. I'll show you what I use. I've had this thing for a very long time. It's not cheap though, but you could probably get it used. We can see if we can find one on Marketplace here. This is the L858DU. I will tell you though, a lot of guys don't like this one because it's a touch screen, right? There is an older one for cinematography, because this is really for cinematography. You can go in here and you can put it in cine mode and frame rates and shutter angle and all that stuff. The one thing, there's another one that is really hard to find that a lot of diehard DPs still use and prefer. It's not touchscreen, and it's more of like the old school like OLED screen with like, you know, it looks like a Casio watch. That's kind of more popular. But I think as long as you get one that has cine options where you can put in frame rates, put in shutter angle, and make sure that you can do spot mode and incident mode, and yeah, you're in there. Honestly, I don't really use it too much. I use this more for film photography than I do for cinematography nowadays. But yeah, I'm a huge fan of using light meters. Obviously, when I was a gaffer, this was my main tool because it's the best way to communicate with the DP and the team and everybody, and getting contrast ratios right and all of that. I mean, yeah, I'm a huge fan of light meters, 100%. I just happen to have that one down there next to me. That's hilarious. Thanks again for that, Zan. That's really nice of you, man. I really appreciate that. Charles says, false color is another light meter, in my opinion. Just have to know what colors match the f-stop, right? Well, better than false color, guys, is EL Zone, right? I don't know if you've seen those videos that I've done on EL Zone, Charles, but I was because I'm a partner with Small HD, I was one of the first people to do a real demo of the EL Zone, way before Hurlbit and all the other cool guys. And that's on my channel. It's out there. And then I've done other videos on it as well since then. But it was a real world little commercial thing I was on. Shout out to Miguel. He was shooting that for me, the BTS and everything. I don't even use false color anymore. All I use is EL Zone. And that was like 2 years ago, I think, when EL Zone came out in Small HD. But yeah, if all you got is false color, that's good too. But EL Zone will get you to true stop value. False color can't do that. False color is not going to tell you stops. EL Zone can, so that's why it's a game changer. Sorry, shutter speed. What's he saying? Oh, yeah, I mean, same thing. Light meter or false colors like EL Zone, yeah. Oh yeah, EL Zone, obviously. For cinematography, EL Zone. Yeah, I generally do just use the EL Zone nowadays more than the meter. It just depends, though. You know, if I'm working with a team and I have a gaffer and if I have a little lighting crew and I'm the DP, I usually do use my meter because it's just an easier way for me to communicate with the team. That way too, I don't have everybody crowding around me on the camera. You know what I'm saying? Like, or Video Village, right? Because I want to reserve Video Village. First of all, I only have a 17-inch monitor, right? So Video Village is pretty small. Well, I have the little 7-inch Blackmagic design too, but Video Village is tiny, right? So I want to reserve that for producers, director. I don't want any of my crew crowding Video Village. So that's just another reason to have more monitors on set, right? But also to have your meter. It's just a better way to communicate with people rather than crowding. You know, don't crowd my camera. Keep that for me and my camera guys. Don't crowd Video Village. You know, there's other ways to communicate, and that's where the meter really comes in handy, in my opinion, in my experience. You know. Thanks for the info. Yeah, Zan, of course, dude. Man, Zan, dude, bro, come on, bro. You gotta get a meter, dude. Thank you, though, bro. I appreciate that. Charles said, yes, EL Zone is a great option. Just most cameras don't have internally, but the FP does. That's true. They added that right after I got rid of it. You know, because I'm a Small HD guy, obviously I always have EL Zone with me. But yeah, it's a bummer that more cameras can't get it in the actual system. You know, I agree with you there, but I think more are, right? Especially now that Atomos has added it. It is interesting though that the FP was the first. You know what was most interesting to me? What I was most confused about, and this was because they got it Sigma got it very early on and implemented it into the FP, and I was most confused. Why was I confused? Oh, because the FP doesn't have a true log profile, and that's what threw me. Because EL Zone needs what everyone's always yelling at me about. EL Zone needs the proper color pipeline, correct? So in my head, I'm like, how is that working with the FP when the FP doesn't even have log, right? So in my head, I'm like, okay, so the engineers made it so EL Zone is hopefully interpreting a log image, and yet they can't give the user the log image, right? That's what was, that I was getting hung up on that. And I still don't know the answer to that. I know that's like super nerdy, but that's where my brain goes, you know? Yeah, hope the creator has a royalty patent, LOL. Yeah, honestly, Zan and anyone else, it may be better for you just to do the buy me a coffee thing. Or where your money would be most well spent is to just join the Patreon for $5 a month, and I do weekly videos over there on the Patreon. You know, and you have access to the whole library. Just a thought, you know. Anyways, okay. So what was the thing we were gonna look at? Yeah, we were looking at the FP. That's a pretty good deal, huh? Should we go back and look at that again? That's hilarious, man. That's a lot of stuff. That's a lot of stuff for $1,000. But you know what? I can't deal with the no mechanical shutter thing. I'd have to get the dumb EVF again. I don't know if I want to go this route. I also don't know, because it doesn't have log, I don't know how easy I can pair it to my FX6. I just feel like it comes with a lot of hiccups, you know? Hiccups that I'm actually used to at this point, too. Did we look at the XH2S already? Did we do that in this yet? I don't know if we did that yet. Oh yeah, we did do this, right? Because that's right, because I was talking about Vegas. Bummer, dude. So the other option, I guess, would be the A7 IV, unless you guys got some other thing. I mean, look, this is cheap, $1650. I get 45 for the M10, $1650 for the A7 IV. That's still a good, decent amount of change to, you know, do other important things with. I mean, that's not a bad deal. Now look at this. The A9 was something I was looking at for a minute too, guys. The A9, but here's the thing about the A9. I don't know if you guys know this. Well, obviously the newest one, right? The Mark III is global shutter, but even the older ones had amazing sensor readout. But the biggest downside is they don't have any log profiles. They don't really have anything for video side. Which is weird because it actually has a really good rolling shutter performance. I don't know. Do you guys know anything about that? Because I was a little concerned that it doesn't have log. Do you think the linear gamma curve from the FP was intended for a wide open external monitoring option so you can create color space transformed monitoring LUTs with 99% accuracy? Yeah, I don't know. That may be over my head, Charles. or I'd have to read it in a more contained environment. Yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, you could be onto something. I honestly don't know. The crummy thing about the A7 IV when I had it was not being able to import user LUTs into the camera. Really. You know, I remember the A7S III was like that too. The A7S III had that same issue. Yeah, I don't know. By now they might have changed that, but I do remember the A7 III was like that too. What up, Justin? What up, Bimmy Films? Just popped in to say hello. Yes, hello, Bimmy. BME? Bimmy. What up, brother? Or sister? Or everyone? Okay, let's jump back into Facebook. Give me some other ideas, guys. What else? And really, you know, you want to know why I feel like I'm tethered to Sony? Not just because I already have FX6, but it's also because when I sold my FX30, I kept 4 of its batteries. It was Sony OEM batteries. Sony sent me all these batteries because, did I already tell you the story? I was using generic chargers, and the generic chargers destroyed my batteries. The MPF Z100 ones, like the ones for all the newer Sony cameras. And I couldn't figure out why the batteries kept getting destroyed, because when you, obviously I know this is a V-mount, but you know on the Sony battery, there's a little Well, I have it. I just want to explain this because I want people to stop using generic chargers. Let me just grab this real quick. Well, I thought I had it in here. What did I do with those batteries? Oh no. Weird. I lied. I can't find the batteries now. All right, I don't know what I did with them. They might be in the garage or something. But they have the little, you know what I'm talking about. They have the little metal things. Well, when I was using the Power Extra chargers, it was crushing the internal wires of the batteries. Is anyone even still here anymore? Well, at least you were able to look at Facebook because I left that on. Is everyone still here? Yeah, because so the Power Extra charger, when you would put the battery in it, it would crush the, it would literally break the little wires inside the Sony batteries. And I didn't know that's what, it took me forever to figure out what was going on. And when I figured it out, I reached out to Sony and they swapped all the batteries for me. So I got 4 brand new batteries for free. And so when I sold my FX30, I just sold them one good one, right? And then I was stuck with the crappy ones. So they did the exchange after I sold the camera. And so that's why, that's kind of why that's another reason why I'm kind of like stuck on Sony, because I'm like, I have all these Sony batteries. I don't know. Linear is unmapped gamma. So if you add a color space transform to your monitoring LUT mapping it, you have full versatility. Right, correct. Lumix X5 Mark II still fire, but has a magenta tint, in my opinion. Yeah, you know who else? Miguel. Shout out to Miguel. My buddy here, Miguel Ordez. Check out his YouTube. He does some amazing content. His Instagram as well. He's done some stuff with Dehancer. He's a talented guy. He still shoots on one of the older Lumix cameras as well, and it really reminds me a lot of the Leica SL2S. Like, and I know Leica and Lumix have this partner going on, but I'm like, man, yeah, those cameras are nice too. No joke. I didn't know about the magenta tint, and I definitely wouldn't see it because I don't see magenta at all, so that would be a huge problem for me. Does Sony still have a yellow tint? It's been a while since I've used one. I don't know. I'm shooting on one right now. The FX6 though, I mean, is there yellow? I don't know. There, you know, and for live streaming, I'm literally just I slap some 709 internal 709 profile on it. I don't think this is an actual LUT. I think it's just the Sony 709 thing. You have to let me know if it looks yellow. I honestly don't know. Oh, I just realized I didn't even check color temp. So if the color looks insane, that's because I didn't change my color temp either. Damn, I just thought of that. That's my own fault. Okay, so don't answer that because the colors might look nuts, and that's my own fault. Does Sony? Okay. He said I find they trend blue. Really? I think Sony leans blue. Nah, it's red. And anytime I've looked at Sony footage in Resolve, and when I bring in the S-Log3, well, this is S-Log3 Gamut3.cine. I think that's what it's called. It's something weird like that. When I drag that into Resolve, the vector scope is always shifted towards, it's like, it goes like this. It goes up towards the red, and then what's this one up here next to red? Oh, maybe you're right. Is that blue? Does it go red, blue? Yeah, I think you're right. It is blue, isn't it? Yeah, so but it's more red than blue either way. To be fair, I think the A7 VI? No, you mean A7 IV. Would still offer strong value for being a solid stills camera. It's a perfect hybrid for a Sony shooter, in my opinion. I was thinking that too. What up, Trevor? Hey, Sensei, good to see you again. Yes, Trevor, likewise. The color science in the big boy Sony is different than the small fry. You think so? You think FX6 has a different color science, probably than the 4, right? Okay, I would accept that. But do you think it has? Because everyone says that the A7S III, the FX3, and the FX6, everyone says it's the same exact sensor. I don't know. Although they improved a lot on the low end bodies. Yeah, I think Sony has come so far. Basically, ever since like the A7 III. Like after the A7 III, everything got better in terms of everything. Everything involving Sony got better. Specifically, also color science, in my opinion. Right? Everything changed after the A7 III. And that's everything. Like that's the A7 IV, the A7 V, the A9 Mark III, the A1. The A1 came after the A7 III. Like all those cameras are amazing. Like a cool tone. Really? Yeah, I see. I wouldn't see that. I wouldn't see that. I have no way to know that. Last Sony I used was the OG7s, the original. When we gonna see some more douche tuber takedown vids, mate? They're awesome and so funny at the same time. Yeah, no, I kind of retired from that. For now, until maybe something crazy happens. There's I'm it probably won't. Yeah, it's probably the end of that maybe. My wife's nodding her head. Marianne's nodding her head. She's doing work next to me. Yeah, yeah, who knows? But yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it. We all enjoyed it. Justin, A7S III, FX3, and FX6 are all same exact sensors. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Alberto Mendoza, what up, man? I can never get my FX6 and A7S III to perfectly match an S-Log3 straight out the camera. See, I see that all the time on the user group too, the Facebook. I'm in this like massive FX6 user group, and everyone says that all the time too. But what I did notice yesterday, because I've been searching it, like I went into the group and I just wrote B-Cam, and then so many people, if they don't have the A7S III, they have the A7 IV. And for me, the A7 IV makes more sense because I also want to use it for like scanning my film and photography and stuff. Yep, that was my phone. So yeah, last Sony I used was F707. I don't know what that is. Is that a camcorder? I don't know what that is. Started on A6500. S-Log has come so far 100%. Certainly since the A6500. Yes, sir. You're a natural comedian. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I did a couple years at Groundlings, and I hosted comedy shows. When I first moved to LA, I was in an improv troupe, and that's all we did. I mean, we traveled everywhere. We went to Vegas like once a month. I've done shows all over Vegas at every big venue there. Not stand-up, but just improv shows. Let's see. After wrestling with Sony Color Science for years, I just left and moved over to Panasonic. He says, for me, it was a welcome change, especially in the reds and blues. For color, yeah, I can see that. Better color for sure, 100% better color. I can see that. I just don't know about everything else I would lose unless you're like getting the Vericam or something. I'd say the sensors are very similar, but not exact. I had the same issue with the FX3 as a B-Cam. Really? Oh, you know what? Someone else did a deep dive. Do you guys watch Cranky Cameraman? Do you watch him? He's pretty legit. Like, he's super legit, actually. But I think he's mainly like a news guy, like a live event guy. But he did a huge breakdown of that, where he put all of them, because he also has an FX9. So he put them all in the room side by side. And it was, yeah, I remember now, the color was different in all of them. Even between the FX9 and the FX6, which was crazy. True Panasonic Vlog. Yeah, that's right. I forgot about the Vlog. Hey, wasn't it Panasonic too that does the thing now with ARRI? It was Panasonic, right? Like now you can get ARRI stuff. Is that what it was? It was Panasonic, right? Like they teamed up with ARRI? Guys, let me know about that. Dang, catching this late. What's up, JP? Stone-fisted props. What up, Ned? Ned's in the building, guys. Charles said, switching gears, what kind of narrative do you like writing and which do you like DPing? So we were just talking about this. So a lot of people don't know this, but Marianne, my wife, has an MFA in screenwriting. And so she's actually like the writer, like because I'm only good at coming up with characters, right? Like because I was an actor for so long. So like I love coming up with characters. Like that's like my favorite thing to do. And I can do it with females, males, whatever. Like I love coming up with characters in my brain. But the problem is like I don't know what to do with them when I invent them, right? And so like I'll usually like give those ideas to Marianne, and then like maybe like give her an idea of like a premise, and then she's really good at like making the actual story though. Not me. I'm not a good storyteller in terms of like something that would be epic, because like I can come up with like really good premises, which I've learned from her that a premise is not a story, right? So like, but I'm really good at characters. Like that's my thing. But in terms of what kind I like to collaborate on, when we're writing something like the most recent thing we have that unfortunately got shit canned, but we were working on a western movie. that I was super stoked about because I've always wanted to play like a hardcore Western dude, like you know, like a villain, like you know, and we were, man, I mean, we were so stoked on it. And I don't know if you guys know who Tristan is. He's in a lot of my videos, Tristan. And so you know, we wrote it specifically for me and him. Like he's the pretty boy cowboy, and I'm like the crazy one. And it was awesome. And I got Lou Temple to agree to be in it, and he's from The Walking Dead. And like we had all this going on, and then we had it fall. It fell through. Because of logistics and money and stuff, and producers backed out and stuff. So, but that's the one that's most fresh, like a Western. It's something I'm really stoked about, and maybe one day we can still do it. I don't know. And in terms of like DPing, dude, I'm a whore when it comes to DPing. Like generally, I'll take whatever I can get. Honestly, I have this on loop back here on the iPad. I don't know if you guys can see this. So this is I would love for you guys to check this out. This is my latest project that I was the director of photography on. Shout out to Eric Richter. He was the director on it. It's a music video. It's called Trembling Level. It's from Poison the Well. Really hardcore band, Poison the Well, and they're like really well known actually. It was their first music video that they've done in like 15 years. It's like their first music drop in like 15 years, so it's like their fans are going crazy over it. I'm super proud of it. I'm happy about it. We shot it at the Fonda Theater in Hollywood. But usually like I will shoot mostly anything. I mean, you know, as long as it doesn't feel like just complete trash or something. And really it also comes down to like whoever's behind it, you know, like if they're really passionate about what they want to do, and they're serious about just making I guess I could say art, you know, then I'll usually just do it, you know. Yes, cool BTS series. I don't know what that's in reference to. Yes, GH7 has arrived. Older log, and the Panasonic is better than the newer log. I thought ARRI did something with the newer Panasonic cameras. I've been on Sony since the A6300, and they've come a long way, 100%. As a doc filmmaker, their XAVCI codec is incredible for what I get with storage space and image quality. These days, most cams are great, 100%. That's why I say, you know, it doesn't necessarily have to be a Sony camera, but I would love something that is great for video and photos. The Lorax says, Cam gonna see this video hearing Justin is not making more videos about him and respond with a video challenging Justin to make a video about him. The algorithm demands a sacrifice. Nah, I doubt it. I doubt it. Dream relationship. A premise is not a story. Sounds exactly like something a writer would say. Yeah, 100%. Do you have any advice on selling shorts to producers? They're not going to buy them. In my experience, producers don't like the idea of investing in short films. One of the producers that I work with all the time, shout out to Alessandra Paschino. She, I don't know if you guys saw on the community post. They used to call it the community tab. I don't know. Now they just call it posting. But I shared the trailer for the feature length documentary that I was the gaffer on for like 3 years. It's finally going to come out. It's on Janice Ian, folk legend. But she's one of my favorite producers to work with, and she, like, when we were pitching her our Western short, and she was like, why would like, and it was funny how she said, because she's very straightforward because she's Italian, right? And she was like, why would anyone make this? But she wasn't saying it like this is trash. She was like legitimately asking like, who wants to make a short? Because she invests in documentaries, you know? So like in her mind, it doesn't make sense to put money into a short film, which I had never thought about that, right? Someone that's done a lot of, like, I've wasted a lot of money into my own short films, you know. There's 2 of them on Amazon Prime. You can check them out. One of them's called You Have Arrived, and the other one's called Wolf Game. And they're both technically, well, You Have Arrived is a proof of concept, so don't, you know, critique that one too hard. But Wolf Game is kind of fun. But yeah, they're both on Amazon Prime. But you know, we've wasted lots of money on short films, and I never really thought about it like that. But from a producer standpoint, there's no ROI, right? It's like, this is nothing, right? The only way you would get a producer to really give you a decent amount of money on a short film is if you can get some heavy names attached, or at least one heavy name, right? So we have a friend here in LA. He's a pretty successful director, I think, and he's got some really nice, well-known names in his short films. And then at least if you do that, you can get them into a festival, right? Into a festival that people actually go to, right? So not like, like a really good festival in hopes of, hey, can we get some investors here for maybe making this into a feature film, or maybe like, an investor that's invested into my art and we can do more fun stuff, But I think without having a name attached, and that's why I was so stoked about our Western that I got Lou Temple in it, because again, he's from The Walking Dead. So I was more excited about it, right? But all in all, I think if you can, try to turn your short into a feature, and you're going to get way more people wanting to be involved in the process with it, certainly when it comes to, putting money on it, That's just my 2 cents. Sorry I'm late. I was at the wake for other YouTube creators, LOL. There were some new camera sponsored content. Oh, really? I didn't know about that. There's other stuff going on right now. Yeah, I didn't know about that, Ned. Congratulations on the music video. Thank you, man. Yeah, dude, I'm stoked on that music video, man. That last music video you did was lit, JP, but I expected nothing less from you. Thank you, Ned. You know what? Honestly, guys, though, Eric, the director on that, Eric Richter, he's a sub on this channel. He'll probably see this live. I don't know if he's on it right now, but Matt, it's really a lot him, right? Like, this is why I say this all the time. Like, I usually will gravitate towards people that are way more talented than me, so then I can kind of soak that up a little bit. but a lot of it is the editing, right? I mean, but also just it's his vision, right? He's the director, so it's huge props more of like working with a director that someone that I can jive with and really real collaborator and just super experienced. He was a DP for like 20 something years before he started directing, so he's like that level direct. Really fun to work with. Do you want me to send you an EL Zone LUT in DWG for your EL Zone series? I also have an exposure measuring DCTL in stop of light, but the color scheme is different in stops and it's capped at 10. Yeah, man, sure, shoot it over. My email's usually in the description, jp@justinfilm.com. Yeah, man, shoot it over, dude. LMO, shorts are for fun and portfolio building. Yeah, 100%. They really are. I'm a little bummed out about the amount of money I've dropped in shorts, but also I'm not, because, you do build relationships and you do build, some experience for yourself, credits, whatever. Shorts are glorified show reels. I think so. And that's why we took a turn of probably like 3 or 4 years ago. We started doing more spec commercials because that made more sense. Doing a spec commercial made way more sense than doing short films. The Kendrick Drake beef taught us that authenticity and artistic integrity prevails over formulaic commercial conformity, a conforming thought coming into 2025. Yeah, it was interesting too to see like the amount of people that hated on the halftime show. The interesting thing is you could feel it. I could feel it when I was watching it. You know what I mean? Like when you're watching, I know this is off topic for our channel here, but like since it was brought up, you could, because I think it's important to culture, right? But like, I love Kendrick. I like every year on Spotify. Well, according to Spotify, I'm in his top 1% listeners. Like I listen to Kendrick a lot. So I'm a huge Kendrick Lamar fan. But even me watching the halftime show, I was like, I don't know, like I could feel it in my bones that something wasn't right, and I think it was because of the perception. Somehow I was tapped into knowing like how it was going to be perceived, and a lot of people like if you don't understand hip hop, if you're not into that culture, it would feel alien to you, and so, but bravo for him doing it. I think it took a lot of balls to do what he did, which is very it's integrity, Sorry, I got lost here, guys. I got caught up on the thing here. It was a joke about the wake. Oh, okay. Yeah, that one went over my head, Ned. He said, quick DP question. Okay, what up, Stampede Logistics Co? He says, I have a thriller story that takes place inside a confessional. Rad, I like that already. He said, how do you think the Blackmagic Ursa Cine immersive camera would do with that? I don't know what that is. I don't know. Guys, is anyone familiar with Blackmagic Ursa Cine immersive camera? I have no idea. Was it like a Snorri cam? I don't know what that is. Yeah, you'd have to give me more details on that. In terms of what? Like in terms of what you're trying to do with the confessional booth? Or what? I need more details, Stampede. Jason Morbies, what up, man? He said, I agree. My funding for a feature fell short, so I made a short film as a proof of concept to hopefully move forward. Yeah, sometimes that's what you got to do. You got to make a proof of concept. The unfortunate thing is with proof of concepts, you got to kind of already have producers lined up, like potential investors lined up, because otherwise there is no proof of concept category in any film festival that I know of, right? So then you would just have to submit this thing as a short, and it doesn't really work out. It gets weird just through my own experience of doing it, you know. Okay, let's see. That's why I'm here. Surrounded yourself with people you aspire to be like. Thank you, Ned. 100%. Nathan said, awesome. Thank you, Nathan. Trevor says, other than features, is there really any considerable ROI in making films? What kind of returns are investors looking for? It's art after all. There's kind of a reason we're called starving artists. Yeah, I agree. But here's the thing. As someone that's, you know, been starving for 22 years, I think there's smarter ways to go about it, right? So that's the whole reason why we drifted from doing short films to doing specs. It's like you got to think about. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, you do got to bend over a little bit, right? But you know, I like to try to find that medium. You know, it's like I'm not gonna kiss ass, you know, and I'm not gonna like seek out certain things because I have a certain amount of integrity in my own kind of moral artistic code or whatever BS you want to call it, right? So like, but at the end of the day, you know, like you got to figure out a way to eat, you know. So I think there is like a happy medium there. And when I say spec commercials, the only reason why I bring that up is because I don't know if you guys know the Adidas commercial. Do you guys know the Adidas commercial? Should we look at it? The Adidas commercial, to me, it was the old Adidas commercial. I don't even know if I can find it. Let's try to find it. Let's go on here right now. Let's see. Let me get a new tab going here, and we'll do it right now because I want you guys. We have to find this. There's an amazing Adidas spec commercial with old people. I don't know what else to put in. It's gonna probably be difficult to find this. Here it is right here. The Adidas spec commercial with an elderly man is a 90-second film by German film students. The ad is about an elderly man in a nursing home who wants to run but is prevented by staff. Called Break Free. Guys, you have to go watch this video. It's on YouTube. Look, Adidas Break Free. Bookmark this. Let's just watch it right now. Who cares? Let's just watch it right now. I'll mute it though. That is something that I think yeah, just check it out when you can. So that was like inspiration for us, you know, to be like, look what this is the idea, right? And just a bunch of German kids did this, and they're probably, I don't know, they're probably hugely famous by now. I mean, everybody knows about that. I mean, if I know about it, everybody knows about it, right? Let's see. By the way, the comment is about being skittish about shorts. Yeah. What amount do you think is the minimum a feature could be done for? I mean, hell, dude, Robert Rodriguez, right? Like, Robert Rodriguez made one for $7,000, which is wild because that's the exact amount of money I spent on a friggin' 7-minute short film, right? Which I don't recommend. But yeah, Robert Rodriguez did a whole El Mariachi for $7,000. Now that doesn't, I don't think that included post, but did it? Or not post, but like if you read the book, he spent more money on the back end, like you know, selling it to people, like you know, pitching the idea and stuff. Thoughts on Danny Gravitz? I love him. He made a ton of shorts for free to eventually have people invest in his feature film. Yeah, he's a great dude, super talented kid. I love how soft-spoken he is. I love soft-spoken people like that. Yeah, he does great work. I think he's very talented. Beautiful camera work. Yeah, in the Adidas commercial, yeah, sick. Muted, it's about the visuals for us. Yeah, sorry, Ned, sorry. Yeah, I know. What's your opinion on using CDLs? On the Komodo, it has the option, but I've never used it or know how. I don't use them either. I'm too dumb for that, honestly. Like I've never messed with it, really. I see your point. It's commercialized art with, exactly. It's commercialized art with integrity. That's right, Trevor. That's a good way. Yeah. My directing mentor told me they had enough to buy a house in SoCal years back after a ton of freelance work. Instead, they invested on spec docs and got into Sundance twice. Invest in your art. Yeah, I mean, they took a gamble, right? That's a gamble they took, and obviously they're really good at gambling, you know, and they probably super talented. You know, it's very difficult to get into Sundance. I mean, it's very, very difficult. Yeah, it's a gamble for sure. Huge gamble, 100%. 100%. Yeah, yeah, cool, man. How long are we going? We're going for an hour here. So is that what we're gonna do, guys? Is that what we're gonna do? I'm gonna have to. I'll get the 4500 for the M10, and then I will have to get one of these A7 IVs, I guess. A7 IV for this one's 1650. I guess that's the route I'm gonna have to go. This one's 750, so I think this is the cheapest one. 1650 comes with box and peak design. Who cares about peak design? He can keep that. Shutter count is around 2,000, so that's not bad. So it sounds like he mainly used it for photos, anyways. I guess that's what we're gonna do, guys. A7 IV, maybe so. Gambling on your house, that's big cojones. Yeah, dude, big time. I mean, I guess we kind of did that. We left our house to do our doc, and then yeah. Damn, I missed a lot. What do you mean? Oh, because it was an hour long. Nah, the first like 5-10 minutes I was struggling with this OBS. I couldn't get the audio right and stuff. GG's, Justin. I don't know what GG is. What do you mean? GG Allen? What are you talking about? What would like to see on an FX6 Mark II? Ooh. FX6 Mark II. What would we like to see? My God. The biggest improvement I think the FX6 needs is it needs the locking mount that the FX9 has. The mount on the FX6 is trash. Like literally when I signed up for this live stream, I could see an image through the camera, but then like I couldn't get any other functions of the lens to work, and it's because it was just slightly out of the mount, just slightly out of the mount. Like the lenses fall off that camera all the time. It makes me so, it doesn't feel good. You know, the mount is it's hands down the flimsiest mount I've ever seen on any camera, and that to me is a little bit of a problem, especially because, you know, it's cinema camera and the cost and everything. So I really think they need to implement a better mount on it, 100%. I think they need to fix their shock mount for their microphone, because everybody ends up replacing that thing, and if you don't replace it, it gets broken anyway. So I think they need a better build quality out of that their stock shock mount for their mic, and make it a true shock mount, because it doesn't actually absorb anything. I mean, those are the two first things I can think offhand. Other than that, you know, and that's just ergonomics, and really, right? Like that's build quality issues. Like I don't have any issues internally. I think some guys, if I wanted to be really greedy, I would say, can we do open gate? But I feel like Sony hasn't done that for any. Have they even done that with their high-end cameras? I don't know. Like, it would be cool if we could do open gate on a Sony camera. And I don't know. I've never messed with the Burano or any of those things. Maybe they can already do that. I don't know. I have no idea. Yeah, I would be nice to have open gate. Mainly just because I like the bigger the better, you know. Like I almost wish I could get like I wish they could make a cinema camera that was medium format, but like a true cinema camera. And I think Fuji has kind of played around with that, right? Don't they have something they just put out that's kind of like that? But it's too hard, you know. Like the biggest problem with medium format is like the rolling shutter and stuff. But yeah, if we could at least get open gate, we get a little bit bigger, you know. You get a little bit bigger. I don't know. Those are just little things that I think of. 2,000 shutter count is like 0 on a Sony body. That's what I was thinking. He said, we could break into Sundance with loudspeakers and a portable projector. The festival is our oyster. Let's do it next year, Justin. I will have the bail money. Okay. I see Lorax's style here. He's the guy at the bar going, yeah, dude, go push him. Ned says, I hate OBS. Really? Yeah. What should I use, Ned? Tell me what I should use that's free, because this OBS is free. Tell me what I should use to stream for the next one, because I really would love to. I like sharing the screen like we were doing. Just got the DJI Lizard system. Gonna play around this week, mount my lenses. I don't know what that is. The Lizard system? What are you talking about? You talking about you talking about the crazy camera? The Rooster camera? Or I call it the Rooster. I don't know what it's called. The one they used on Civil War? Is that what you're talking about? Trevor said, OpenGate is also a big reason I want to Panasonic. I like using the whole sensor. They have it, huh? Even the old ones? Even the old ones have it, huh? Yeah, I think so. Noob wants to know, what up, Cogmission? No noobs. We're all noobs. I'm noob. I've only been shooting for 7-8 years, man. He said, Noob wants to know what the big deal is with OpenGate. Shoot the exact size of the sensor. Is that what it is? Sorry for stupid question. Well, for me, it's just like you just get more of your sensor, you know? Which is always good for depth of field and things like that. But I think why most people want it is so you can do vertical and horizontal. You know, it just opens you up for that. You know, to do a true vertical and a true horizontal at the same time. I think that's why most people would want it, right, guys? But for me, it's more of like a full format kind of look, like an LF kind of look. That's really it though. Lorax is laughing. LiDAR. Oh, LiDAR, the LiDAR system. What are you, Ned, are you doing voice to text on your chat, dude? Yeah, LiDAR, that's cool. Yeah, I've never messed with it. Yeah, he said, my bad, laying down, glasses off. Yeah, I got you. He said, okay, what up, Nathan? Do you think a budget feature should be written and made with limitations in mind, or you should let your mind be limitless, and when you come to an obstacle, compromise the vision? Do you think a budget feature should be written and made with limitations in mind? That's a lot for me to read in one go to focus on that question, Nathan. But should you let your mind look, dude? I think the reason why I can't even focus to read your question, I think answers your question. You know what I mean? Like my mind is always limitless. You know, like I wouldn't put limits on creating ever. You know, if I'm reading that right, like yeah, I wouldn't. I think I see what you're saying, yo, and I think I do this sometimes too, like. Because Marianne will start writing something and it'll be so crazy and like it'll be awesome, but my mind will always go to budget first, right? Because I'm like, well, how are we gonna realistically do this? You know, like, so I probably limit myself in that way because I like to think, I do like to, you know, in the writing phase, I like to think about budget and think about realistically what we could do budget-wise, right? When thinking like, okay, these are the lights, let's use my own lights, let's use my own cameras, let's use my own lenses, you know, let's think about locations that we can get for free, hopefully, or steal, or, you know, not spend more than, you know, $500 a day on, you know, so my mind goes to things like that, if that's what you're thinking. And I think that is a good thing to do, you know, if you want to realistically just go and do it, you know, but again, if you're just writing to write, here's the thing too, write as crazy as you want, like don't think about budget at all. Really, that should be what you do first. Like just write the thing, just get it out, because that's a huge achievement on its own, right? And then you can have your budget mind come in, your realistic mind come in and go, okay, how can we shift all of this so we can actually go do it without big boy Hollywood money? You know what I mean? I hope that answers your question. He said, I am now going to call it the lizard system. LiDAR sounds too classy. I think so too, and it's hilarious. The lizard people. Okay, watching on my TV, typing on my phone. Holy cow. The whole sensor, depending on the format, is also a huge help with anamorphic squeeze. Yeah, that's the real, I think that's the real reason why people like it, because of the, the anamorphic thing. I'm not a big anamorphic guy. I was for a minute. You know, I got into the Ivoscope, but the DIY anamorphic is not for me. It's just not for me. It was too much of a headache in a real set, you know, because I shot little movies with it, little short films, and it was such a headache, dude. So, yeah, I think moving forward, maybe I would get real anamorphic lenses, like no more DIY setups. Sorry, guys. Yeah, speech interpretation is on Crag Lizard. Okay, let's see. As far as OBS, it's the standard for streaming. Just always takes a lot for me to set up. Yeah, it is a pain, huh? Instead of being forced into a specific aspect ratio. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, you could do that too. You could think of it like that. But here's the thing. I would never shoot like that. I would never shoot blind. Like, I always need guides on. Like, whatever, like, aspect ratio should be one of the first things you decide on, in my opinion. Right? Like, I would not leave that up for someone to decide for you later on, because that will be a nightmare. Right? Like I always, to make sure, you know what? And there was a great DP, I forget who it was, but he was worried about this because he was working with it, and I read this in the ASC, so this is big boy stuff, right? So I forget what movie it was, but they were shooting, originally the idea was to frame it for, what is it, 4x3 or whatever, but they weren't actually shooting 4x3, they were just framing it for 4x3, and then he overheard the producers talking about something, like when they're at Video Village, like basically talking about, well, yeah, we can, you know, like reframing in post. He heard them. So then what he started doing was stacking up. He would have the gaffer and the crew like stack up C-stands like right along the edge of his marker lines on the monitor, so, doing it on purpose to make sure like they're not going to mess with his image later on in post, which is a funny little story. But yeah, I mean, that's the main reason. Like, you got to come up with that first. And also, like, a lot of guys, they do it because, you know, you get pretty like philosophical with it, you know, like there's a reason why people choose the 4x3 rather than like 240, right? And a lot of it is, it comes down to, an interpretation of the story and the characters, right? And sometimes the locations even, right? If you're shooting in big epic locations, you want the aspect ratio to be as tall as you can to get all that in, right? So if you're shooting 240 and you spend all this money on a huge cathedral, it's gonna be really hard for you to see the whole cathedral, right? Whereas you go 4:3, you're like, oh cow, now it's way easier. We're way taller now. So it's always good to come up with the aspect ratio like almost immediately. Yeah, right, with no budget in mind and narrow, like Justin said. 100%, Ned. You answered my question perfectly. Thank you. Awesome, Nathan. Okay, you went down the anamorphic rabbit hole for a while. I did, and that's what got me hooked on Minolta. I'm not shaking my head because of Minolta, because I still love Minolta lenses. I'm just shaking my head because of the whole anamorphic rabbit hole. It was fun though. It was fun, but yeah, if I do any more anamorphic, I definitely want real anamorphic lenses. 100%. Stacking C-stands, clever. Yeah, I wish I could remember who it was. It was really clever, actually. Okay, dudes. Let's see how long we've been streaming for a while now. Wow, an hour 12. That's pretty good. I guess that's what it's gonna be, huh? Unless you guys got another good idea, it might just be the A7 IV, man. It might just be. Trevor, yeah, you went down the anamorphic rabbit hole, never came out. Yeah, no, I get it. It is cool. Like it is really, really cool. It's rad. I mean, honestly, because of the annoyance of the DIY thing, I shot most of the short films that I did with the same focal length the whole time, just so I wouldn't have to keep swapping it and messing with it. But it's easy to do that when a friggin', when a 40 mil is really like a 23 mil. You know what I mean? Like, so I think my taking lens on the Komodo was the 60 mil macro, the 60 mil Leica R, because then that's like a 40. In norm, it's like the width of a 40 mil, but it's only as high as a 60 mil, and I really like that look. Yeah, who knows? Maybe it might end up back down there too. Yeah. I didn't care about it for. Yeah, I'm the same way, Trevor. I like soften up, crap it up. That was never a problem with me. It was more just finicky to deal with. 100%. Okay, I guess that's what we're going with then. We're going to A7 IV. Got no more ideas from the gallery here. It might have to be that. I was thinking like maybe they'll give me a crazy idea of something I haven't thought of yet. What do you think about the gap between the skills of filming and the taste of the shooter? What up, Madame? What do you think about the gap between the skills of filming and the taste of the shooter? You have to elaborate a little bit of that on me, dude. Just a little bit. Because I could interpret that a million different ways, and it might not be the question you're asking. Is the only reason why I say you might have to elaborate on that a little bit. Any more breakdowns coming down the pipe for the Patreon? Oh shit, Ned throwing in a Patreon nod. Yeah, I know. It's been a while since we did a breakdown over there. Well, we just did the music video, but yeah, I guess that wasn't like the normal kind of breakdown that we normally do. We can do, I was thinking about breaking down in Nora, but I think I'm going to do that on the big channel, because shout out, someone on last week's live stream told me to watch a Nora, and that was right over my head. First of all, I didn't even know it was a Sean Baker movie, and I'm a huge Sean Baker fan for obvious reasons. And I say obvious reasons because he's like the ultimate indie filmmaker, DIY indie filmmaker in my opinion, right? Well, yeah, I mean, he really is. And then I read the article for it in ASC, and I got really excited about it. And then I'm in SAG, so we got it for free. So I watched it and blown away. Like, my wife was impressed. Like, we were both just blown away by it. And so I'm going to probably do a breakdown of that, but that'll probably be on the big channel. For the Patreon, I don't know, man. It's been a minute, huh? Yeah, we gotta break something down over there. I know. Oh, I get here too late to contribute bad judgment to your purchase task. No, give me some ideas, Cog, because I want to know, like, I was hoping to get an idea about something new that I hadn't thought of, right? So I'm really just looking for like really good rolling shutter performance, as minimal rolling shutter as possible, and 10-bit video. That's really the two things I'm looking for. It doesn't necessarily have to be a Sony. Yo, Josh Satin in the house. Oh my God, dude, Josh, dude, is everybody here? You guys, do you know Josh Satin? I'm sure you do. He's got the YouTube jam going on. What up, Josh? Good to see you, bro. There's still some real ones out there. He said the gap, like someone have high standards with his vision, but the abilities is still mediocre. That's me. I think I have the gap. Because I have insanely high standards, and my work continues to suffer. So you know, I think that's just a never-ending battle. You know, it's just like, it's just, that's why I keep doing. You know what I mean? That's why I just keep doing it. You know, for anyone. You know, I think if there's a disconnect there's also the limitation of resources. You know, because we don't all have big boy Hollywood money. You know, so that's going to limit you insanely to what you can do. You know what I can do all by myself is not going to be as good as I can do with just 2 other people. You know, I mean, so in that regards, build a good team around you. You know, and that's why I was talking about the music video that I just did with Eric Richter and those guys. You know, like I wouldn't have been able to do that by myself. First of all, it's the director's vision, right? His idea. You know, the point is, for guys like me that are mediocre, I keep a really good team around me, and then I just kind of hide in between them, you know, and I'm like, oh yeah, you know, like, and then I soak it all up. Hold up, guys. Just gotta get some water. The problem is I talk too much on these lives. And I got the Steve-O thing. I don't know if you hear it sometimes. All right, let's see. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Switch to Nikon? No way, dude. Never. No way. I've never switched to Nikon. Oh yeah, you're looking for a new camera? Yeah, Josh. So I was mainly looking for. I need a B cam for the FX6. I'm gonna sell the M10 for $4,500, and I don't want to spend a lot of money because otherwise I wouldn't sell the M10. But I'm mainly looking for something that I can do for, you know, perfect hybrid camera. B cam for FX6, but also a good enough photography camera so I can still scan, because I've been scanning my own film. So it gotta be at least 24 megapixels, in my opinion. I don't want to go. I would like to stay full frame, but I'm not afraid of Super 35. But I don't want to go smaller than Super 35. But basically, yeah, 10-bit and really good shutter performance. I don't want crazy rolling shutter. I started on Nikon bodies. They were terrible for a while. Not bad now. People are really into Nikon. You know what? I don't like Nikon because their lenses focus the wrong way. Thank you, Ned. Ned said I'm a great captain. Don't call yourself mediocre. I don't. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Trev. No, you know, I think it's important for everyone to stay humble, though. You know what I mean? All right, let's see. Yeah, I know. Thank you, Trevor. Okay, let's see. What are some hurdles or obstacles new filmmakers place on themselves? What are some hurdles or obstacles new filmmakers place on themselves? I think it's easy to get caught up in the gear, you know, get caught up in like thinking that the tool is what you need, and it never is. Like the tool is never gonna satisfy anything for you. You know, when I got really big into street photography, there was something in my brain that made me think that, like, oh, if I get, you know, that Leica camera was not cheap, you know. And at the time, I just thought, like, you know, like, because you can believe in the lie, you know, you can believe in the lie, like, if I'm going to do it right, you know, because that's what got in my head. Because I got so obsessed with street photography. I'm like, if I do it right, I need the right tool, and then I can do it right. If that makes any sense. I didn't think it would magically make me better. I just thought, like, for me to do it the right way, I need X, Y, Z. And it's never the case. It's never the case, right? And I was like that when I was getting big into lighting too. I'm like, no, we need this light, you need that light. Dude, that is never the case, right? And then and I don't even want, I hate all the lights now. You know, it's like I just want one light and then like figure out a way to like bounce it or something. Like and this is really, I just think the gear is like a prison, you know, and it's hard to get out of, especially for someone like me, guys like Josh, you know, like people that have the channels, you know, because you get caught up in it, and then before you know it, you're like, dude, this is all we're talking about, you know. It's hard to like get away from that. And that's something I've been struggling with right now. It's like I'm sick of the gear, but at the same time, it's like a pickle, you know. It's like one of these like finger traps, you know, because you're like, well, if you don't, you gotta have something newer at least, or something that people want to hire you for too, you know, because I'm not at the level where people just know me and they go, yeah, I want him to shoot my thing. That's not going to happen for me, you know. So like half the jobs I do, they have a specific tool they want me to have. That was one of the reasons why the FX6, you know, but also it made my life a million times easier, not gonna lie. So I think that is, to me, I hope that helps. I mean, I don't know if it helps, but I think the gear is a huge hurdle, an obstacle, because it has nothing to do with that. And we can convince ourselves that it does, and it doesn't. It's you know. Why no Nikon? Oh, it's really just, I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is about Nikon, but it started with the lenses. I hate that they focus the wrong way. Yeah, and Canon's the same way too. I never was a Canon guy either. I don't know why. I don't know why. I don't know why, honestly. If you want to stay with Sony, then getting good rolling shutter is going to be tough in a hybrid. Maybe a used A1 Mark I. Well, yeah. But dude, I gotta keep it low, man. Now here's the thing. A dude did offer to trade me his A1 for my M10, just a straight trade. But I'm trying to get some money, you know, like I'm trying to get a little bit of money right now too. I got some we got a new van, but I got to do some work on it. Getting gear envy. Okay, very glad for your ISO explanation. It's fascinating. It was very helpful shifting the shooting from technical oriented case to a situation. Awesome, Thom. I'm glad that helps you out, man. Why is that the hardest thing for people to figure out? Is it because people were trained in photography? And here's the crazy thing. I didn't learn photography first, guys. I learned photography second. I know. Does that sound crazy to you guys? Has anyone else done that? I learned video first. So I think that's why I struggle with so bad with other people. Like, it's so hard for most people to understand that concept of the ISO thing. And I took that right out of the ASC years ago. I've always shot like that. And I think photo guys are trained differently. And I think they just think it's blasphemy to like crank your ISO down, you know, because it's opposite. It's literally opposite. But I've always done that. Yes. Fujifilm X-H2S shoots internal ProRes. I know. That's another reason why I like that camera. 11, I know. I think the rolling shutter is even better than that, Nathan. And it does have open gate. I know. Here's the problem, though. And I don't even care about the autofocus. The problem for me with the X-H2S, it's almost perfect. And I love that it has that little screen on the top. The biggest problem for me is it is crop sensor. That's the really deal. I know that's lame. But yeah, I've been looking at that one hard, too. Hey, Xavier. What up? Xavier Stapleton. Hey, what would you do if you were launching your video production company this week? Poop my pants. No, I don't know. I think you need to get get a good insurance, you know, get a proper LLC, like get all your legal stuff in line, because that's super important, right? Especially if you're going to be a real production company. Because if someone gets hurt on your set, you're SOL, you're screwed. You want to have insurance lined up. You want to have all the proper bells and whistles tied up, you know. That I think is something that people don't talk about, right? And I would make sure to get all my accounting stuff lined up, and make sure that we are accounting for everything that we are buying. You know, get all your checks and balances in line, and have all your categories lined up. Like, you know, because everything, when you have a company, almost everything you buy can be written off, you know, if you put it in the right category. You know, so get yourself a good accountant, you know. That's probably not the answer you're looking for, but I mean, hey, that's what I would do, because I did that stuff last, and I'm like, oh my god, you know, it was a nightmare getting myself S Corp because I got myself LLC'd first, and the problem here in LA is studios. Okay, like when I worked for HBO, right? I worked for HBO. I worked on High Science. I show High Science, and so they rented my gear, right? I had a whole camera package, right? They rented my gear, but they did it through my LLC, which is awesome because then no taxes are taken out. I deal with the taxes, right? So I go, cool. So then when it was time to pay me for my labor, they didn't want to pay my LLC for my labor. They would only pay my gear. They would only pay my LLC for the gear. They couldn't pay my labor to the LLC. And it's something weird with like the fact that their production company is an LLC. So they can rent gear from other LLCs, but they can't hire other LLCs to work for them because it's some weird legal stuff. So they need you to be S Corp. So then I had to wait. You have to wait to get paid, or you just do normal W-4, whatever it's called, W-2, and then you get all they keep your money, right? Then the government keeps your money. So you want to make sure that you get yourself S Corp first before you go do it. You know, I'm just, this is just stuff people don't talk about, right? So that's why I bring it up. Yeah. Okay, sorry guys, I'm lost here. I'm just trying to get caught up. Yeah, dumping 80% of your assets into the body and lenses and short changing your lighting and sound, cast, location, etc. Yeah, 100%. 100%. And just skills in general, right? Like just skills in general, like just composition and framing is something that I've only recently started to, honestly, like only with like in the past couple of years started to really take a lot of effort at, you know. For some reason, like I got caught up in the lighting for a very long time and then just wasn't very I was like ignoring the actual cinematography because I was getting so obsessed with the lighting, you know. Yeah, so that's Ned says, speaking of bouncing light, wait till I put up my secret DIY up in the Discord. You just remind me. Sick, Ned. Can't wait to see it, brother. We're a gas-oriented society, unfortunately, Trevor says. It is true. And it is a little inevitable when you are a freelancer. It's a vicious cycle, man. Finger trap, where the more you resist and deny it, the tighter its grip. Yeah, just bow down to the gear. For me to do it right, I need a Blazar set of lenses. I don't know about that. See, that's why I gotta stop doing that. He said, great answer to my question. Thank you for your insight. Thank you, Nathan. Josh said, gotcha. Well, you said sell your M10 to get a camera, so I figured that was the budget. Totally get it. I've been getting into Nikon lately, by the way. Everybody's doing Nikon. Oh, no. RAW or nah? ProRes for proxies. RAW, always. If you can do RAW, always do RAW. RAW only. I don't even care about proxies. Who needs proxies? Who needs proxies? You got an M1 chip. Who needs proxies? I've never used proxies. I don't use proxies. I don't use proxies. If I can do RAW, any camera I've ever used, the first thing I do on any camera we get on a job, or I buy a camera, or whatever the case is, the first thing I do with that camera, I go into the thing and I set it to the best codec that camera has. Whatever, the highest. Give me the best, man. I don't care. Yeah, Xavier. Do you think doing a couple promo reel content would be good for getting the word out? What do you mean? The word out about what? Do you think doing a couple promo content? Oh, for your production company? Who's gonna see it? You know, like, and I don't mean that in like a dickhead way. I just mean honestly, like, who's gonna see it? You know, like, if you have a huge following, 100%, put it out. It wouldn't hurt. But I think if you're really gonna be like a real production company, you might have to pay for ads. You know, like put a little money into advertising. You know. To get that out there, and we see the YouTuber guys doing it, right? Like we see them doing, like, pushing the stuff. So do it for your production company too, you know. But it would be nice. I think people should do more old school advertising. You know, like hit up your local sources, you know. And a lot of guys do that too. You know, a lot of guys, if you don't have anxiety in social settings, which I do, like I'm not the type of dude that can walk into a store and be like, hey, what's up? You guys need someone to make a video for you? I can't do that. I can't do that. But if you have the ability to do that, or your business partner has the ability to do that, I think that's cool to do. because you go into enough stores, you're gonna get someone that's gonna be like, you know what, yeah, well, we do need a little video for social media, don't we? You know, I can guarantee you would do it. You know, but me, like, I'm too scaredy cat to do that. You know, but if you walked into enough little, especially if they're mom and pop stores or whatever, like, because it's no mystery to anyone that everyone needs social media now, right? It's no mystery to any of these businesses, right? Everyone knows that. So I think that would be a cool thing to do. I wish I could do that, but I just don't have the courage to do something like that. I'm an editor. I live by proxies. Yeah. Why though? I guess you. Yeah. I mean, is it because like you get a lot of like video files stacked on your timeline? Well, here's the thing too. I'm not an editor. Clearly, I'm not an editor. But when I like make my whatever I do edit, I'm the type of dude that only wants what needs to be on the timeline, right? So like I don't like to have all this stuff stacked on the thing. Like I'm like, well, if we don't need it, crush it, just eat it, right? I'm the dude that will like, if I can have just one layer timeline, I will do it. Now audio, I know it's impossible to do that with audio, but with video, sometimes it's easy to do that, right? Like, I mean, other than that, like, but also like I don't deal with visual effects and all that. So yeah, I mean, I know you gotta have proxies, but yeah, I mean, do ProRes proxy if you can, yeah. Raw for days, 100%. To promote your production company, I say hit your local gyms and stores and grow from there. Yeah, same concept. Yeah, gyms is a good idea too. Yeah, gyms. Yeah, dude. If you have $1,000, would you pay it for getting a better camera, or would you pay it to get more different camera angles or views like action cams, 360 cams, small camera like Osmo Pocket 3? My wife has the Osmo Pocket 3. We love it. It's great for her because she's not a camera person, you know. So it's just like walk around with it. You can literally tap the thing and it will just track whoever you tap. It's an insane little camera. It's 10-bit. It has D-Log. I'm not a huge fan of D-Log, but it has it. No, I don't care about that. I wouldn't spend money on stuff like that. Not me. If you know, if you were like, you're gonna give me $1,000 and say, yeah, buy a better camera or buy some weird action camera thing for another angle, I don't understand that. No, I wouldn't do that. No, I would get, if I needed a better camera, then I would use that money towards a better camera. But if I was okay with the camera I had, for instance, me right now, I have the FX6. Yeah, we did that. We did buy the Osmo Pocket 3, but specifically for my wife to use when we were traveling, because it's just easier for, she can use the Osmo Pocket 3 way easier than she can ever learn how to use an FX6, right? So that was our thinking behind that. But I mean, if you have the best camera you have and you just want other options, I guess do another angle. But why would you get a weird camera like that? You know, like I would just do what I'm doing and just find something used that could do way more. You know, in my opinion, I'm not a fan of like the little cameras and the action cameras and stuff. That's just me. I don't know. Maybe other guys would have other opinions on that, but that's my idea on that, anyways. The M1 and M4 chips just chew through codecs like peanuts. Yeah, I think so. I love it. There's no need to be afraid of big files. That's how I feel too. And I have the first one, the very first one. I think I do. Or no, I have the second one. Anyways. Agreed. Going from PC to an M3 Max chip was a game changer for me. Heck yeah. Justin says, I have the M3 Max. I still use proxies because it's always less taxing when your priority is to build out the content. You can always enable the original raw files. Yeah, he's a real editor, guys. You know, he's gonna he's gonna use them. Phil said, anxiety is a huge problem for me. Kind of why I prefer to be behind the camera and a reason I got into filming, so I can push myself through it. And to be honest, it's helped. Yeah, street. That's why. Well, there's a lot of reasons why I started doing street photography, but the anxiety thing was one of my things too. But also it was important for me to be out with the world more, you know, because I'm not a dude that will just like go for a walk, like that's not really my thing. But if I have a camera with me, and then I feel like I'm still kind of doing something, right? Like I'm still like creating. But half the time I'm not, you know, you're really just walking around, right? I'm really just a guy walking around the camera. But in my head, I'm not, right? In my head, I'm like, I'm doing street photography, you know? And for people like me, I need that, right? Like I need a purpose to go do something leisurely, right? For me to do something leisurely sounds like insanity to me. because I just can't do it. I can't do anything if it's leisure. I'm not going to do it. Like, it doesn't make sense in my brain. Extra $1,000. Extra $1,000. Glass always glass. Hardware fades. Glass is forever. No, oh, dude, 100%. 100%. You know, we used to say that on the channel, right? That old thing, like, marry your lenses and date your cameras. Remember that? Yeah. No, 100%. Yeah. The problem with lenses is sometimes it can get you locked into an ecosystem, right? So that's kind of a bummer too. That's why the M-mount lenses, I love M-mount lenses, and they can go onto any mirrorless camera. I think M-mount lenses are the best thing to invest in because they're so universal, in my mind. And I only say that because the new Cook lenses, they're supposed to put them in M-mount, but they haven't done it yet. But yeah, that's the only reason why I bring that up. He's a team editor, touche. The thing about walking with the camera, everybody's looking at you. Nah, dude, that's in your head. No one's looking. Trust me, dude. Trust me. No one's looking at you. No one cares. Now, they might be looking at me sometimes because I shoot very close. I tend to get right in people's faces. But that's because I know the look I want. But no, dude, no one's looking at you. I mean, unless you live in, like, unless your town is that small. But honestly, right now where we're at, we're in the suburbs now. I don't live in the city anymore. And even here, no one cares. No one cares. I mean, they're gonna notice, right? But no, a lot of it's in your head. Trust me. Yep. M-mount lenses are so underrated. Yeah, and they're the best. They're so tiny too. They're so good. They're so tiny, and they're so good. Even if you don't buy the Leica ones, Voltlander's lenses are so good. Light Lens Lab blew me away. I mean, yeah. I think it's the smartest investment in terms of lenses, and you can mod them. I mean, look, you guys saw the Zone of Interest? That was shot on M-mount lenses. Those the Lights M08. All they are is all of the Noctiluxes and like the super fast Leica lenses with gears on them. That's literally all they are. Yeah, Zone of Interest. A lot of movies use those. Ferrari. A lot of movies. Do you think a Dana Dolly slider is necessary starting out? I used to think that, and then I sold mine. I've been looking at the Pro Aim Dolly for a while, or the other brand Dana Dolly, or should I get the Sony 70-200 2.8 lens? That's a big difference, man. Do you need a dolly, or do you need a huge zoom lens? I don't know. Those are two very different things. To me, look, the dolly, for the longest time, I used the dolly a lot. And my first dolly was the weird one. I reviewed it a long time ago. I don't even remember the name of it. Rig wheels. I had the rig wheels first, and then when the rig wheels got stolen, then I got the real Dana dolly. Because for me, I was always a dolly guy. I'm like, yeah, dude, the camera always needs to be moving. But what I realized is I only had a van that was so long. I could only carry around 6 feet track with me. I'm like, wow, this isn't a very long dolly move here, guys. And then in my head, I'm like, dude, 6 feet is not that long to go. And then by the time you get it set up, you're really only moving like 2 or 3 feet. And I'm like, dude, I can do that on a freaking gimbal. And a gimbal's like this big, right? So that's why I sold the dolly, because it didn't make sense for me, right? And the reason, and here's the thing, on bigger jobs, like when we do the music videos and stuff, dude, my gaffer or the key grip is going to bring a real dolly, right? And or even if we still have to use the smaller dolly, they're going to have like a way bigger truck and van and trailer. They're going to bring rails, and we can go 20 feet, right? Let them deal with that, right? So I'm like, because 6 foot dolly doesn't make sense. And I'm just speaking out of experience of dragging around a 6 foot dolly for a very long time. You really know what's the further you're going to go? 2-3 feet. Maybe every now and then you're going to go the full 6 feet, but you're not going to go the full 6 feet. You can't, right? You're going to see stuff. You're going to hit the end. A gimbal can go 6 feet. I mean, that was my thought process behind it. I know I might get some hate on that, but that's how I felt about it. So I sold it. Gone. Bye. So yeah, get the lens, I guess. I already have the 16-35 and the 24-70. Well, yeah, then you'll have the trifecta, right? That's what they say. Yeah, that way I can complete the Trinity. Yeah, exactly. What do you think about purchasing older cameras like the Red Dragon? Look, we talked about this last week. I think I'm a huge fan of Sakurai. I'm a big Spencer fan. He's an OG. I love the guy. But I don't understand why you would buy an old ass camera, right? It's just old tech. Like, would you right now go buy a MacBook that was 10 years old? No, no one's doing that, right? Why are we treating the cameras any different? You know, it's not giving you any secret sauce. If you want secret sauce, just use dehancer or something, right? Like if you want to, or just use shitty lenses. Like, you know, get a UV filter, wipe your nose grease all over it. You know, I think there's a lot of different ways to do rather than like, you know, we romanticize older cameras. Like we're doing it really bad right now because people are, you know, too poor to shoot on film, right? So we're like romanticizing these older cameras. To me, it's crazy. And I'm speaking to someone like, remember, I bought the M8. I bought Leica's first digital camera. The camera came out in 2002, right? It was like the craziest thing I ever did, right? This is why I speak from experience. Like buying an old camera is buying an old computer. It just really is. At the end of the day, that's what you're doing. In my opinion, that's how I feel about it. Now you talk about ARRI, the older ARRIs will take you further if you're really getting jobs, but it's a pain in the ass. It's still old tech. At the end of the day, it's still old tech. Rent a dolly, buy some glass, 100%. He's used his dolly twice in 5 years. Now see, I drug mine to every job, and I made us set it up, and I made us use it. But again, it's that logic of we're not really going that far. Yes, Typox Samara C with M mount look like good portable option. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Typox. I don't know. I haven't looked at them. But yeah, I saw their M mount. It's very interesting, isn't it? I'm not a 7200 fan. It's big as hell and a lot of shifting glass. Yeah, but everybody loves that lens, man. Everybody loves that lens. Rented a Dana Dolly for a music video not too long ago. We used it for one shot and just decided to use gimbal for the rest. There you go. A thing with those older cameras, among others, is the boot up time. Yeah, no one talks about that either. And the overheating with the Reds. And the noise issues with the Reds. DSMC2 I'm talking about. Yeah, some of them take like 5 minutes to start. Yeah, the Reds, 100%. In my LMAO, Vaseline on UV filter is a classic move. Yeah, 100%. I just bought a production van myself, man. Congratulations, Xavier. What'd you get? You get a ProMaster? Nissan MV200? What'd you get? Oh, he told us. 2016 Toyota Noah van. I don't know that one. Is it high roof? How many years is considered old, referring to old cameras? Dude, yeah. And that's another good point. You don't have to go back very far for it to be archaic, do you? You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, at this point, the FX6 is old, right? And a lot of it, too, is the YouTube crowd, right? You see them all the time. Like, is the FX6 still relevant in 2025? You know, you see those videos. They're everywhere. Like, clickbait videos, you know? It's like... But still, there's people out there that think that. There's people out there that say that, you know? But I don't think you need to go back very far. Just think about it as a computer. Would you buy a computer? How old of a computer would you buy? That's the way I look at it, because they're just computers. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong for thinking that way. Let's buy an older unsupported camera so when it breaks, we have an older unsupported overpriced paperweight. Yeah, that's exactly what it'll be. But you know what I saw? Now that they're hooked up with Nikon, now they're doing they brought back the buyback program, which is killer. They brought back the buyback program. So we should DM Spencer and say, dude, now's the time to trade in your Red. I'm balling, JP. I have a production minivan. Yeah, dude, that's what I used to do. Mine was a minivan too. I never understood it. It can appreciate, but I'd hate to work with it. Yeah, 100%. Man, this is good. Man, you guys are killer in the live. I love it, dude. I love the conversation, man. Now that you got the FX6, I have the FX3 as my main cam and the A7 IV as my B cam. There we go. Do they match well? Because I'm thinking about getting the 4. Do you think getting the FX6 as a startup solo would make sense? Yeah. It's the only camera that in my head that makes sense. It's the only reason I bought it, because so many of my jobs were going where I was working with only like one other person sometimes. It's very rare I get to work on awesome projects that are this level of crew and everything that we have. And this was still low budge, don't get it twisted, you know. I'm still a low budge dude, but most of the stuff I've been doing for the past couple years is like me and one other person, which is not cool, you know. And it's like, that was one of the motivations for getting the FX6. It's the most convenient camera for a one-man band, 100%. I will say though, if someone gives me an old ARRI, I'm taking it. No, yeah, do it. I would too. Dude, even if it never worked, you could just put it. If someone gave it to me, you would see it behind me in every video. FX6 A7 IV or FX3 A7 IV are great combos. I rocked the FX3 A7 IV for a bit. Yeah, I was thinking that too. Plus two, I need to scan my film. So it's probably going to be the 4. The FX6 is dope, Xavier. A worthy investment, 100%. I mean, I just bought mine last summer, and I don't regret it at all. I don't care. It's one of the best cameras I've ever had. They match really well. Yeah, good to know. Good to know. All right, dudes. I guess the A7 IV it is. I guess we called it then. But yeah, whoever asked about the meter, you know, meters are so cheap though. There's a new one coming out. There's a new light meter coming out. It's a little tiny baby handheld meter. Should we look for that? No, I don't know. There's some new stuff coming out, meter wise. I forget who was on. I don't know if it was Xavier. Was it Xavier asking about the meters? So you might want to hold off on that. The built-in all right, 5 more minutes and I gotta go. 5 more minutes. I'm losing my voice. He said the built-in audio on the FX6 is tempting because trying to rig something on the Komodo when solo shooting is cumbersome. 100%. 100%. You know, you could do though what I used to do. I'll show you what I did. You guys remember that? I took this sound devices. I know this is not cheap though, but and it's got the quarter 20 in there, and you just put this on the bottom of the Komodo. I did that. I did that a lot, and because of the preamps, Cashmere preamps, 32-bit float, you ain't got to worry about it. But that's another huge expense. A7 IV is a little over 30 megapixels. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. 33 megapixels. And the EVF. I love the EVFs in the Sony cameras. What up, Jess Film Diaries? How did you get your first paid gig when starting out? Do you currently work for an agency? I wish. No. The only agents I had were for my acting career. Not for cinematography. It's a little difficult. So, living in Los Angeles, though, it makes things a little easier because here, there are always people here needing to create music videos, needing to create startup videos for their new startup company, needing to make, there's a lot of like hubs here for major corporations that need to make internal videos or corporate videos, whatever you want to call them. But also I was an actor for many, many years. So people that knew me from that world were excited to work with me in a different facet in terms of like being on the camera rather than in front of it. So that's kind of was in the beginning for me. Like, yeah, I don't know. My journey was a little different. And I can only imagine how difficult it would be if I wasn't living in this market. Because it's already pretty, but then again, maybe it would be easier if you're a bigger fish in a smaller pond. I don't know. Because here is a very large pond and everyone is a very tiny fish. But there's so much, even still, it has gotten pretty bad though because of just how bad things are. But I don't know, I get jobs through Instagram. You get jobs through Production Hub. I get a lot of jobs through Production Hub, and I know a lot of people have hate for Production Hub, but I don't know. I get a lot of jobs through Production Hub. There's a new thing called Nova. Nova's a new one, which is awesome. You have to get accepted to it. It's like this private app thing, but that's looking cool. I'm pretty new on there. I used to get jobs through Staff Me Up, but that kind of went to shit. But it used to be a good one. Yeah, but I don't know. And I've gotten quite a few jobs through Facebook, even Facebook and Instagram too. Yeah, I don't know. You just gotta put your stuff out there, you know, because there's like that famous cliche, like you never know who's watching you. That's why I say just put it out. Who cares? Just put it out. He started as a photographer, so I have a thing for meters. Yeah, dude. Yeah, I love meters. I use it for film all the time. Might as well wait for the A7 IV. No, I think the dude's gonna buy my M10 like this week, so I'm gonna have to figure it out quickly. I don't know, maybe not. Do I need to figure it out? Well, I'm gonna be up Schitt's Creek if I gotta scan film, because I've been scanning film with the M10. Now, that's been very difficult to do. Don't tell anyone, but I have been known to take my A7 IV out in public. It's a blessing and a curse. What do you mean? What do you mean? You making a joke? You're doing street photos with the A7 IV? That's cool. That's probably what I'll end up doing. That's one of the reasons why I was kind of looking at the A7C Mark II. That was my other option, because I was thinking about street, super compact. But, I mean, it's 10-bit. The only thing that held me back on the A7C Mark II is the little baby viewfinder. I'm not a fan of that. Okay, Xavier said, I followed a movie breakdown you did a while ago, and that's how I picked out the lighting package. Oh, was it talking about the little indie film? What was that called? 18 and a half or something like that? Cool, dude. Yeah, I had loved making that video. I wish more people saw that video. Thanks, Xavier. He's got an Aperture 600D, 600X, 300X, f22C, Nova P300C, 2 B7Cs, and 1 MC. Dude, you got the full thing. You're good to go. You're an aperture man. Should you get some tubes? I don't know. Do you think you need them? Do you think you'd use them? I sold the majority of my tubes. I have 4 tubes now. I don't really use tubes that much anymore. Thank you, Xavier. Thank you, dude. Appreciate that. Nova is, yeah. I do regret, I was just thinking that today. I regret selling my Nova 600. I sold my Nova 600, and I do regret that, because that was definitely my favorite light to ever use. 100%. Beautiful colors. Beautiful colors. If you're looking to get jobs in film and video, it is valid. It's best if you have a body of work to stand on. True. Isn't the A7C II viewfinder the same as the RX1R2 you had for? I think it is. I think it's the same shitty viewfinder. I know, that's why I don't want to get that. I did street photography with my A7 IV and closed the flip-out screen to get that viewfinder only feel. Yeah, 100%. I mean, that kind of idea was why I wanted to get the X Pro 3 for a long time. Because I thought it was cool that it had like the little, showed you the film simulation on there and whatever, but I never did it. Yeah, Ned, you should get a cream source. Ned says he wants a cream source now. That's all I have now is cream source panels. That's what I'm using for this right here. It's on like 2%. It's literally on 2%. It's on 2%. And it's just like right on top of this little bounce, and that's why it looks like this. Okay, dudes, I think that's gonna cut it, man. Dude, that was a killer one, man. We had so many people in here. That was rad. We went almost 2 hours. These streams are gnarly. I lose my voice, they go on so long. I guess that's it, guys. I guess it's gonna be the 4. Who knows though? Maybe I'll get a different something up my butt, and then I'll change my mind or something. But yeah, it's looking like maybe the A7 IV could be fun, I guess. Cream source are super, yeah, they are expensive. That's why you gotta buy them used, dude. Yeah, Ned, I'm glad you caught it too, bro. Yeah, they are expensive. I would check out Adorama. Check out Adorama for used cream source panels. Anyways, okay, guys, I gotta go. Very long time. My neck's killing me from being hunched over like this. I don't know why I set my camera so low like this, but that's what I did. And thank you guys so much. Do me a favor, like the video if you haven't. Just like the video. That's all I'm saying. Just hit that like button. And then more people will know I'm doing streams because I'm brand new to streams. Yeah, dude. Thank you, Justin. Thank you for stopping in, guys. Yeah, dude. Awesome. All right, guys. We'll see you in the next one.